Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, back in Stalker 2, and today I want to talk about not only the endings of Stalker 2, but what it means for the future of the franchise, now that we know which one of the endings is canon. Now, all that being said, obviously this video is going to be full of spoilers, so if you want nothing spoiled for you, I suggest you get out right now, because we're going to be talking about the endings of the game, the canon ending, all that good stuff. So, again, you don't want it, hop out now. For all of you that are staying, of course you know, there are 4 endings, one of them is canon. And it's really weird because there's a lot of people that aren't happy with which ending is canon, and it kind of blows my mind. So first, we have, S.T.A.L.K.E.R's ending, which is a pretty crap ending. It'd be a horrible way to go because you're pretty much living in a fantasy and it's going to be horrible. It's not a world you want to live in. Or, maybe you want to live in the fantasy, but the real world you're actually in sucks. Beyond Score, of course, another one, and I'm going to be honest, I was really tempted to pick this path when I was playing through, but I just couldn't do it. It wasn't what I felt was right for my character. But Straylock's ending. Oh, yeah, tough choice to not back up Straylock just because. But again, it's not a good ending, mostly because he takes over Monolith and, pretty much puts the zone on lockdown. Nobody in, nobody out. And that's just a horrible, horrible way to go just because, first of all, everybody who's in the zone is now permanently a prisoner of the zone. No way you're getting out unless you get super lucky. Then I just hate the overall idea that, at one point, we had Monolith, but they weren't Monolith. They used to be Monolith. And then I'm not a big fan of the idea that the Monolith people were pretty much stuck being Monolith slaves from then on. So that kind of bums me out. So I don't really care for that ending so much. But awesome, it's not the canon ending. However, the ending that a lot of people wanted to be the canon ending that kind of confuses me is Ward's ending. A lot of people backed up the Colonel and Ward and took that path, and they think that ending is freaking awesome. I don't think so. I think that is probably, out of all the choices, the worst choice. The reasoning behind this is you just gave the zone to the military. Alright? And there is nothing good that is going to come out of that. That is... I really want to be like, the world is screwed with that ending. Which is really weird, because you would think the world is completely screwed with Skiff's ending. But I honestly believe that Ward is the worst choice out of the bunch, because, you're handing the keys to the military, and then as Skiff, you just go off to live out a life turning a blind eye towards whatever the military is about to do. Not super cool. Of course, with Skiff's ending, you pretty much take over control of the zone, and you set it free. So the zone is no longer confined, and we end up with multiple zones all over the freaking world. And I'm going to be real, that's pretty freaking cool. However, I understand. There's a lot of people that think this is the horrible ending because all these anomalies are going to be popping up all over the world. A lot of people are going to die. And yeah, there's a possibility. A lot of people could die from all the random anomalies. But you have to understand that a large part of the reason that the zone is so dangerous is because of the radiation and the mutants and all that crazy stuff. The anomalies are pretty friggin' dangerous themselves, but radiation has a large part in that. So, I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to really depend on where these anomalies are popping up. If they are popping up, say, at nuclear sites, either nuclear power plants, nuclear missile silos, any of that sort of crazy stuff, then yes, that could become a big problem. But, I mean, there's equally the possibility that the anomaly pops up out somewhere where it's not going to be really messing with anybody. Now you also have the added benefit that you could study the anomaly without all the harmful radiation and, the mutants, all the nasty stuff. Additionally to all of that, with STALKER's ending being the canon ending and, having multiple zones across the entire planet now, that is a really good path forward for the STALKER franchise. I mean, mind you, we still have DLCs coming, and we got to see how all that factors into the game. But with STALKER's ending being canon and us having multiple zones, it does lead one to wonder, holy crap, will the next STALKER game not take place at Chernobyl and Pripyat? Are we going to be out of the zone and somewhere completely different? If so, I'm totally down with that. I would love to see what else they do, getting to stretch their legs a little bit and get out there and play around with different locations. Even though I absolutely love Chernobyl, Pripyat, it's a really freaking awesome setting. So it's going to be kind of weird if they do take it somewhere else. And I really wonder, where else are they even thinking about taking it? Another thing to keep in mind, especially with regards to STALKER's ending versus everybody else's ending, is that STALKER was the only one that went in with no preconceived notion of what the zone needed to be. Whereas everybody else went in with their own agenda, their own plan for what the zone had to be. And I love the idea of STALKER setting it free. And again, I mean, I'm hyped for the world of possibilities it could bring. But I would love to know your thoughts. I mean, do you think that's an awesome path forward? I know a lot of you backed the Ward out there, which I kind of get to some level because other video games train you military good, everything else bad. But STALKER is not your average video game, and the military is definitely not the good guys. Kind of along the same thought process of a lot of people from, say, the Fallout community think the Brotherhood's the good guys, but that's not really the case, but I get where you're coming from. So yeah, with STALKER, I'm super hyped for the future. And knowing that, the world's full of anomalies, what kind of places would you like to go to in the future? Or are you hoping that you'll get to go experience, but within the STALKER universe? Yeah, I mean, put some thought into it. But that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. I hope you've enjoyed this. And as usual, please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.